Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today we have some Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to Shipment. It has been a long time coming. I've been wanting this map to come back in Call of Duty in one way or another for absolutely years now. And of course with Modern Warfare Remastered, they remastered Shipment, which still to this day is the smallest map in the history of Call of Duty. So much fun on this map, guys. We get 100 kills in this game. There are so many ways to play on Shipment, and that's what we're going to be focusing on here in this video. So for the first half here, I'm using the M16 with Deep Impact. This is definitely one of the best ways to play on Shipment because it's such a small map and the spawns are constantly flipping that you have all these people just constantly running all the time. And so if you can take it slow, take your M16 with the red dot out and just pick people off as they're blindly rushing around corners, you can definitely get a lot of kills. Now, it's not super successful here in this video because there's a bunch of pretty good players in this lobby and people are constantly throwing grenades at me or trying to rush at me or jump shot me around corners and stuff like that. So there's some pretty good players on the other team, but this is definitely one of the best ways to play on Shipment. And in fact, it was my favorite way to play back in the day. Domination has been my favorite game mode for a very long time now, and so every now and then you get blessed. Robert Bowling himself shines upon you and decides to bless your lobby with Shipment in the map rotation, and every time it would show up, I would always use the M16 with a red dot. There's a bunch of people that will always say you should run around with, like, let's say an MP5 with steady aim and just hip fire all the time. There's people that will say maybe a P90 would be very good for this map. Maybe running Martyrdom. You definitely see a lot of people running Martyrdom on this map because it's so chaotic that every time you die, you poop out a grenade. Chances are that grenade's going to get you a kill now and then. So people definitely run Martyrdom a bit. Once we get to the higher levels, I really think we're going to see a lot of people using Frag times 3 on this map just because it's a map that has so few places for you to hide. Having grenades everywhere is definitely going to be an issue. But here's the thing. It's not like we have to speculate what the game is going to be like because if you played Call of Duty 4, you know what the game is going to be like. I've played on Shipment hundreds of times, thousands maybe, over the course of like the past almost 10 years. And Frag times 3, Martyrdom, they're really not that big of an issue for me. I mean, sure, you're going to die a bunch on this map, but you're also going to get a bunch of kills if you know what you're doing. So how do you guys like to play Shipment? I'd love to hear down there in the comments. My brother is a big proponent of using a shotgun with Sonic Boom and RPGs. Basically, the default shotgun class, he just runs around shooting RPGs at people. And I always, like, why would people do that? Like, sure, it's fun to get a bunch of RPG kills, I suppose. But if you're somebody who's actually just trying to get a bunch of kills, there's definitely a lot, definitely a bunch of other playstyles you could implement that would actually get you a lot more kills rather than just running around with an RPG in your hand, hoping to kill somebody, die, and then poop out a grenade and hope Martyrdom actually gets you a kill. So for the first half of this match, we're basically using the M16. We're sticking back. It doesn't matter what corner. I've heard a lot of people say like this is their favorite corner. Maybe they have a different favorite corner, maybe over on the other end by the car. Any corner works whatsoever. Just always try to peep the corners, and as soon as someone turns at you, just be ready to shoot them in the face, and you'll get a ton of kills and have a really good kill-death ratio while playing on Shipment. One of my favorite commentators back in the day was Willy's Gamertag back when he was making Call of Duty videos. I still watch him to this day. I love Painkiller already. And he used to talk all the time about Call of Duty 4 and how it was like his first Call of Duty game and his road to being good at Call of Duty 4. I think he said it took him like 40,000 kills or so for him to finally bring his KD up to a 1, which I think I had a pretty similar progression back in the day as well, because I wasn't the greatest player ever when I first started playing Call of Duty 4. I was negative for a very, very long time. And he said this was like his KDR health spa. Every time Shipment would show up in the rotation, he would just go positive 70, positive 80, and it would really help out his kill-death ratio as he was trying to progress back to getting a 1 KD. And that is definitely the case for this map. If you're struggling with your kill-death ratio in Modern Warfare Remastered, if you're somebody that like really cares about having a high KD, Shipment is one of those maps where if you play it well, it can really help your kill death ratio because you can get a ridiculous amount of kills. You'll still probably die more than you would like because it's a very, very small map, but still, you're going to get a lot of kills. If you play it right, you can definitely have a pretty high KD. So in the second half of this gameplay, I decided to level up a couple of my weapons as well as start running around a little bit more because the other team kind of got competent, I suppose, towards the second half. They all started getting their kill streaks, and here's a big tip, and you're going to see it in the video. I do not whatsoever practice what I preach in this gameplay, but believe me, guys, you have to get rid of this muscle memory and just think to do it. Whenever you die to an airstrike on Shipment, do not respawn. Don't respawn immediately. Watch the kill cam. I die so many times to that because I'll die to an airstrike. I'll quickly skip the kill cam because that is my natural muscle memory. I skip every kill cam. I never watch them. And so I'll die to the same airstrike twice because that's how small this map is. That's how the spawn systems work here on Shipment. So just keep that in mind. If you die to an airstrike, do not respawn right away. You're going to want to. Your immediate instinct is going to do it because of all the muscle memory you have. And of course, you're playing on Shipment, so you're trying to get as many kills as you can to try to get yourself up to 100 kills. But just don't do it, man. You're going to die a bunch and you're not going to be happy. So how is Domination doing now in Modern Warfare Remastered? I figured we discuss that a little bit here in this video as well. I'm not a giant fan of it, honestly. I like Domination, don't get me wrong. And the spawn system is pretty much the same as what it was in Call of Duty 4, so I really do like that. But what I don't like, however, is the fact that they decided to add in a halftime. I'm not a fan of the halftime system whatsoever. It really breaks all momentum. It stops everything. Now, it actually benefits me a little bit here in this video because I actually have a helicopter to call in. So as soon as we start the round, I call my helicopter, I have it out before everybody else, and that's helpful. But the halftime I wish it was like it was back in Call of Duty 4. I'm happy it's not like it was in Black Ops 2 where there's a time limit. Like, there's actually time for a comeback. You don't have to really be racing against the clock and the other team. You can actually just play the game and not have to worry about it. But still, I wish they would get rid of that. It wasn't like that in Call of Duty 4. They should just get rid of it. I mean, what's the point of them actually adding in a halftime to Domination? Is this supposed to make it more competitive? Because to my understanding, I don't think Modern Warfare Remastered is going to have a really thriving competitive community. I don't think there are going to be a bunch of tournaments for this game. I could be wrong, but even if there are, and they do decide to have a big pro scene for Modern Warfare Remastered, it's important to remember there was also a pretty big pro scene for Call of Duty 4 back in the day, and in Call of Duty 4, Domination did not have a halftime. So I wonder what they were thinking with that. I think their idea is this is a better way to play Domination, but for me, I like it better when it's just first team to 200, no time limit, just first team to 200, and we'll see who the better team is. Like, that's how I like to play Domination. I know there are a lot of people out there that disagree. A lot of you really like to have halftime in Domination, and so to each his own. I mean, I can't change the game. I'm just saying I would personally like it if halftime were gone, but right there, I was basically spamming right on the D-pad to make sure I got my chopper in as fast as humanly possible, and it just feels so freaking good to be playing on Shipment again. Now, of course, they did try to bring back Shipment in Call of Duty Ghosts as the map Showtime, but I think we can all agree that that map was an abomination, and we should all just try to get it out of our memory and forget that that map even happened. I've always wanted to see Shipment in Call of Duty again. I always wondered, what would this map be like with proper, good kill streaks? Like, for example, can you imagine Shipment in Modern Warfare 2? This tiny little map with those really, really big kill streaks. The reason why I don't think we've ever had Shipment in any Call of Duty game after Call of Duty 4, again, with the exception of Call of Duty Ghosts, but that doesn't count because they added to it way too much and it wasn't even Shipment anymore. The reason why we've never seen it again is kill streaks would kind of ruin this map. You guys are seeing here, the helicopter goes ham on this map. It really does. It's easy to shoot down the helicopter, and throughout my time so far on Modern Warfare Remastered, a lot of people have been shooting down helicopters very, very quickly. Like, they're not doing as much work as they did back in the day, or even I was on Call of Duty 4 just the other day, and my helicopters were going in. But here in Modern Warfare Remastered, better players are playing, and so they're actually making a conscious effort to shoot down these helicopters. They're using RPGs, they're using sniper rifles and stuff like that. Like, if you use an RPG, you hit a helicopter, then you shoot it once with an M48-3, that is enough damage to actually take down that helicopter. So people are actually working to go ahead and do that, and as a result, just kill streaks feel very weird in this game. It really does. But back on topic, Shipment is ridiculously good for kill streaks. Like, airstrikes, you'll be seeing this second half here gets insane. Like, a bunch of people on the other team start chaining together some kill streaks, and suddenly it's airstrike after airstrike after airstrike after airstrike, and it wipes out the entirety of the map. It is such a fun experience. It really rewards fast reflexes. If you're somebody who likes to play very, very slowly, it can happen, like I was showing you guys with the M16 and Deep Impact, but for the most part, you're going to need to have some good reflexes if you really want to be successful on this map. And I think I showed that a little bit here in this video because I'm using, of course, now the AK-47 because the M16 just wasn't working for me. Too many people running around. And I decided, okay, we're going to have a little bit more of a mobile play style because I didn't have as many kills in the first half as I had hoped. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to run out and make sure I get my kills rather than, sitting back waiting with the M16 and hoping to get some people through crates and whatnot. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but a big part of playing Shipment, you guys see me doing it right now, shoot through the crates. You can spawn kill people that way. That's a big part of playing Shipment. I know people hate spawn killing. A lot of people are against it. But when you're on a map this small where the spawns are constantly changing, shooting through crates is a very good way to actually get a bunch of kills. And that's why I use Deep Impact on the AK-47, Deep Impact on the M16. RPD, if you want to go big ammo with like a light machine gun, use the RPD with Deep Impact and stopping power. You will just wreck people through these crates. Very, very nice. And plus, you don't have to reload very often, as I can't hit anybody with my pistol right there. It's a very fun way to play the game. It really is. Now, again, you could opt out to go with like a submachine gun, run around with like an MP5, which I will be doing here pretty quickly. The AK-47 is like, after a while, it's like, okay, this AK is good, but I'm like 2 feet away from all these people. I'm just going to pull out the MP5 with steady aim. That makes a little bit more sense in my mind, right? You can run around with submachine guns. You can have success that way. You can sit back with an M16. You can kind of play mid-game with like an AK-47. If you want to be that guy, you can try it. You can try to be a sniper on this map, although I'm warning you guys, you can probably hit some cool clips, but you're going to die a bunch. It'll really definitely test out like your skill as a sniper, I suppose. Like if you're somebody who's like pretty good with an M40 with ACOG, you could definitely do pretty well on this map, but you need to be very, very good with it to actually be able to compete. And if somebody starts pulling out Juggernaut, it might not even be worth your time to try and snipe on this map. Like, it's by far the best 1v1 map in the history of COD, in my opinion. But for actually playing 6v6 Dom, where you're at, I didn't see the guy in Last Stand right there. Playing 6v6 Dom, where people are constantly running around and people are dropping the Last Stand, people are using Juggernaut, I'm not so sure sniping is the best way to go. But overall, very, very happy to see Shipment actually back in Call of Duty once again. This is my first time playing it. I do get 100 plus kills. We do mount this comeback. We were actually losing by a bunch. There's the freaking helicopter. The bane of my existence, man. I've called in at least one chopper in every game of Modern Warfare Remastered I've played so far. And every one of them, my chopper barely does anything. One game it did a bunch. Most of them, though, it barely does anything. But when the other team gets a chopper, that chopper alone is going to kill me probably 3 times and not kill anybody else. Like, I don't know what it is. Helicopters hate me. They always have. I think they always will. I think everybody says that, right? Kill streaks hate me. In Modern Warfare 2, everyone's like, oh, the Predator missile always goes for me. No, legitimately, the helicopters in Call of Duty 4/Modern Warfare Remastered, they are programmed to attack high-threat targets. And high-threat targets are people that are high up on the scoreboard. If you're number 1 for your team, or even number 1 in the lobby, and the opposing team gets a helicopter, you best believe that thing is prioritizing you over everybody else, and it is not fun whatsoever. Fortunately for me, there's a beast in this game who is on my team. He actually gets more kills than me, and I think less deaths than me as well. Like, he did very, very good. He's very high level. He's been playing a lot today, but he's a very good player, and he actually was taking the top bill for this game, and so the helicopter was focusing him a little bit more, and therefore I only died 1 or 2 times to the helicopter. But right here is the airstrike. This is what I was talking about earlier. Died to the same airstrike twice. It's so easy to die to the same airstrike. Like, if you die to one, watch the kill cam, because that way you will not spawn in and die to the same one again. Like, how many times have I done that in this video alone? Like 4 or 5 times? Are you guys counting? Go back and count, somebody, because I died so many times to airstrikes in this video, and I just spawned right back in like I did right here. But I was lucky this time. This time I was lucky. I did not die to the airstrike a second time. I got a good spawn, but I'm going to estimate maybe 60-70% of the time, if you die to an airstrike, you're going to die to it again, just based on how the spawn system works here on Shipment. But ladies and gentlemen, that is basically going to conclude the video. We were kind of getting whooped there in the first half. Second half, we all kind of got back together. We grabbed the flags, ended up winning pretty handily by 58 points. Pretty freaking good. Now, I did not have the best final score in the world, but I did break 100 kills, which I thought was pretty cool. Like I said, there's a beast on my team who is just absolutely dominating everybody, really having a good game. But there is the final score, 105 and 51 for me. And looking at my teammate there, 127 and 34. Freaking amazing game by him. 2 captures, 10 defense. I had 32 freaking defense. That was mostly me just throwing nades and stuff like that on the B flag. But ladies and gentlemen, Shipment is back. I could not be more happy. I am so excited to see what Shipment is going to be like as we go forward, how the community is going to start playing this map, if it's going to be different than what it was back in Call of Duty 4, if there's going to be a different meta game going on. I'm so excited. Shipment is one of my favorite maps in Call of Duty history, and I'm so happy that we have another Call of Duty game come out that has it in it, and everyone's going to be playing it. It's going to be relevant again. I'm so excited. But ladies and gentlemen, once again, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.